Good, happy Tuesday evening, December 28th, 2021. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Tuesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday evening, so let's get started right now. First up, 28 more COVID-19 deaths announced in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
At 5 tonight with breaking pandemic news here in New Hampshire. The state just announced 28 more deaths blamed on COVID-19. Good evening, I'm Tom Griffith.
And I'm Monica Hernandez. Of those, 9 were just confirmed from more than 2 weeks ago. Now, this means the state has announced 58 new deaths in just the last 2 days. There are 556 new cases to report tonight, with active cases falling to just under 7,300. Current hospitalizations are down slightly to 391.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. Concord Police seeking missing teen last seen December 20th. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Maggie Hassan is pushing for tax credits that help our business.
She cared about a small business like mine when it counted.
And Concord Police are searching for this missing teenage girl. 14-year-old Kahana Blake was last seen at her home during the evening of December the 20th. Police believe that she walked out of her apartment after playing with her sister. Kahana just moved to Concord from Franklin and has friends there and in Laconia as well. Anyone with information about her whereabouts should call Concord Police.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Some restaurants shut down as COVID-19 cases rise in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Well, Tom, Patty B's in Dover just celebrated its 10th anniversary at the start of December. Now, heading into New Year's, they're choosing to close their doors due to rising COVID cases. Co-owners Bob and Patty Barish say 2 staff members tested positive, followed by 2 more, then 2 more. They chose to close for about a week and lose revenue now instead of potentially having to close for a month in the future if cases continue to rise. The restaurant is selling some products ready to go into the oven, like lasagna, but they'll miss out on earnings for all those things in-house. The Barishes say they made the tough choice to protect both staff and customers who've come to mean everything.
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 They go hand in hand with our staff.
Yes. We've got nothing but positive.
We have people that come in there and they say to me, should I punch in now? And I'm like, yeah, you should go punch in.
These are not employees.
No, I'm talking about customers.
The Barishes say the CDC reducing isolation time guidelines helped with making the decision. Live in the studio, Grace Feinerman, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Nearly 2/3 of hospitalization COVID-19 patients in New Hampshire unvaccinated, the report says. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
All of the hospitals in New Hampshire, all of the hospitals in New England are feeling the pain of the surge that we spent 2 years ago talking about flattening the curve.
A newly released report from New Hampshire Hospital Association shows out of the nearly 400 people hospitalized in the Granite State with COVID-19, more than 60% are unvaccinated. 23% are fully vaccinated, while 2% are not fully vaccinated, and nearly 10% are reported with unknown status. With that, New Hampshire's ICU occupancy rate is over 90%. Memorial Hospital in North Conway says their numbers run similar with the state.
Close to 80 or 90% of patients who end up in an ICU, therefore having severe illness, are unvaccinated.
With only 3 ICU beds at Memorial Hospital, they send patients to other facilities, and that is proving troublesome.
We have shipped people out of the state, out of New England, because we haven't been able to find those beds available.
Health experts hope this recent surge will motivate more people to get vaccinated. On-site medical services operates the state's fixed vaccination sites.
We've seen a huge demand for booster vaccines in recent weeks, especially as fears about Omicron has definitely moved people to get vaccinated.
They're also seeing a lot more people wanting PCR testing.
We're seeing the rest of the week fill out to be completely booked as well, including the New Year's holiday.
And on-site medical services says while you may wait in line to get a test right now, you'll get the results in just 4 hours or less, making them a desirable option for anyone traveling this week. In studio, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Disaster declaration extended for New Hampshire summer storms. Federal government has expanded its disaster declaration following damaging storms in southwestern New Hampshire this summer. The Federal Emergency Management Agency originally declared a disaster related to storms during the last few days of July. Governor Chris Sununu said Tuesday that the agency has extended the declaration to include August 1st and August 2nd. The State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management had appealed the original federal decision. A primarily damage assessment found that statewide response efforts totaled $3.2 million. Arrest made in connection with fire in Hill. Authorities said a 60-year-old woman is now charged with felony arson in connection with a fire at an apartment building. Authorities have made an arrest in connection with a fire that happened at an apartment building in Hill. The chief of the Hill Fire Department and New Hampshire State Fire Marshal announced that the arrest of a 60-year-old Kathy Canfield is now facing a felony charge of arson and a misdemeanor charge of breach of bail conditions. Authorities said Canfield set the fire on November 22nd at the building at 4 Commerce Street. 4 people were inside at the time. They were all able to safely escape. The New Hampshire Fire Marshal's Office said nationwide initially set fires result in more than 400 deaths and 1,300 injuries and $1.3 billion in property damage each year. And let's switch gears now and let's go into weather. Let's take a look at your weather for this evening. Some sun as conditions improve. Let's take a listen to this weather video from meteorologist Kevin Scrippa.
After a slippery start to the day, it's certainly improving by the time we get to the evening commute. There have been a few breaks of sunshine that have been developing in the southern half of the state, and look for temperatures this afternoon to tip out in the upper 30s to lower 40s. You'll notice a couple of snow showers wandering in across the North Country later this afternoon, and another system back out to our west, most of which is deflected to our south. We'll be on the very northern reaches of it overnight tonight and first thing tomorrow. So 30s to lower 40s out there this afternoon with a westerly breeze and partial sunshine. Clouds clouds will start filling back in later tonight. We will have the chance of a couple of snow showers in southern areas. Not expecting any major problems because of that first thing tomorrow morning. A lot more clouds around tomorrow. Lows will start in the 20s and climb into the 30s through the afternoon with just a thick cloud cover around from time to time and a fairly light breeze to go along with it, so not a bad afternoon. Beyond that, we'll be looking for the chance of a couple of mixed showers early on Thursday and then eventually late on Thursday. The system later on Thursday is a front coming through, and behind it will be at least partial clearing for the day on Friday. A quiet day with temperatures in the 30s to lower 40s to round out the calendar here, and it looks like New Year's Eve should be dry as well before the next system starts to wander in over the weekend. Rain or a wintry mix look like the best bet with that system eventually coming through. Time being, temperatures 30s to lower 40s. Average high this time of year is in the low and mid 30s. You can see we are above that until we get beyond the weekend system early next week.
Okay, and there you go on that weather forecast from meteorologist Kevin Scripa. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great evening and see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye.